What? Hey there, Greg Lewis, Orange Frog Photography, coming at you from my teeny tiny home studio. And so I just want to get the elephant out of the room. I've got weird hair because I was wearing this thing all day to do chores around the house, and now it's left indelible marks despite my best efforts with product. Let's move on. Hey, the other day I had a new baby granddaughter, and her name is Emery, and she's adorable. And for that reason, of course, I wanted to take pictures of her, and her mother wanted pictures of her, and grandmother wanted pictures of her. So of course, I'm gonna get pictures of that baby. Now, I should preempt all of this by telling you this. When I first moved to Utah, when I first decided to set up a photography business in Utah, I thought newborn photography was the way to go because one, there's a crap ton of babies in Utah, like more than anywhere in the world. I swear, I think there's more babies per capita in Utah than anywhere. So it seemed like a sound business choice. Two, taking a picture of a baby seemed like a simple thing. You know, you plot the baby down, you put it just so, you know, put a flower there, you know, take a shot, right? No problem. So that was completely not the case. And I quickly learned, for a variety of reasons that I'll discuss in this video, that I'm not really a good newborn photographer, or more, better to say, I don't really enjoy it. So some things you don't really enjoy, you're never really going to be good at because you don't want to, you know, better yourself. So yes, I can do it, and I did do it, and I'll show you how I did it with my granddaughter. But for a lot of reasons, I just don't want to do it. A couple of them include babies never just sit there just so. There's always a lot of work involved in that. And also, the pictures that tend to sell well around here involve a lot of props. I'm not really into a lot of props. That's fine. And if your market demands it, then do it. If you want to do newborn photography and that's what is selling in your market, by God, for all that's the love of everything photography holy, do props. But I just don't enjoy that. I really like to focus, even with new infants, on the subject and not props. So having said all of that, let me tell you now a few things that I've learned along the way that's helped me take some what I think are pretty good infant shots like this, and this, and this, and how I just did this shoot with my granddaughter just a week ago today. So I've got some notes. So now I'm going to put on my readers. Woo. Okay. Clean your studio. Okay, you're a slob, most likely. If you're anything like me, you're kind of a slob. I don't know you, but I'll bet you are a slob. So for God's sakes, clean out your studio. It's a baby. You're talking about a little teeny new baby that doesn't like things like, you know, dust and mold and ick. So get that all out of your studio. Take everything out of your studio and clean your studio clean. Then once you've got your proper, you know, you cleaned it all out, right? You've got it not just swept out, but, you know, clean. That's a good time not to move all your crap back in your studio, but only the things you're going to need for that shoot of the baby. So if a light stand or a paper roll or a tripod falls over on an adult or even a child, there might be a little issue, but if it falls on a newborn baby, there's definitely going to be an issue, and nobody wants that. Just make it safe. So the only thing I had in the studio when I was doing my shoot was this big old light right here, this thing I'm sitting on, and my camera. Because you don't need a lot of different lighting for babies. You just do a simple soft light. I thought I would cross my legs. It hurts, so I'm going to undo it. Oh, we should also take a moment to talk about the environment. In addition to get your studio clean and all that, you really want to get the temperature right. This is studios in a basement, and yours may be in a basement as well. So make sure you get the temperature in a good spot, you know, like 75 or up, a little bit. Just so, to me, I'm not a doctor. I don't know what temperature makes babies most comfortable, but I know it's not 65 or 66, which is generally this temperature down here. So I like to raise it up to about 72 to 75, so where you're just a little warm. And so when you take the baby's clothes off, it doesn't freak out. Also, I like to have a little kind of low light, which I always have in my studio anyway. And also just a little bit of either white noise or lullabies, or, I've seen people do like mother's heartbeats recordings, boom, 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 something that'll make the baby comfortable. Anything that's going to make that baby be what you want the baby to be. Yeah, that's the part where we get the baby ready. So anyone that's had a baby, a newborn baby, or has been around a newborn baby knows that they're calling all the shots. You are working around them and what they want to do and their schedule, and that's just the way it is. And once you realize that in family photography, you'll be a lot better off. But the things with little kids is you can manage that, right? You can say, hey, dude, come on, man. Hey, little booger, let's, hoo, hoo, hoo. And hey, you, let's, we're going to blah, blah, blah. You can work with little kids. It has been my unfortunate experience that I cannot make a newborn infant, do anything I want ever. Now you're saying, well, the mother can do, no, she can't. The baby is going to be a baby, whether it's going to cry or be sad or be happy or open its eyes or close its eyes or sleep. You can do things to manage that. You can make them comfortable. You can top them off with milk. You can make sure their diapers change. But when it comes time to sit that baby down and take some shots, that baby's going to do what that baby wants to do, and you have zero control over it. So the first thing you have to really understand when you're doing newborn baby photography is you have to be massively patient, really ready to, and you should allot out enough time. Don't expect them, they're going to be out of here in 20 minutes or half an hour. You've got to give this a lot of time for this shot and make your client understand that. And you've got to give time for that baby to be that baby. And if it means taking a little break while the baby decides it wants to be fussy and poopy and whatever, then that's what you're going to do. So that's one thing I would really say is just manage yours and your client's expectations. It's a baby. So now let's get to the actual shooting of the baby. Let's get to the actual photography of the baby. What I use and what I think most baby photographers use, if they're not using natural light, is a big old, some sort of apparatus like this. I've got an umbrella here with a nice diffusion on it. You could use a softbox, anything really, but it has to be diffused. It has to be big because unlike other photos, of men or women or whatever, it's okay to be dramatic and have maybe some hard light, but where babies are concerned, you're pretty much always going to want a nice, soft light, because it's a baby. Most of the time, as far as my camera settings are concerned, of course, I have it on 180 because that's my camera's sync speed with flash as far as the shutter speed is concerned. And the f-stops, I was shooting anything between wide open at 1.8 or 1.4 with my 15 millimeter and 4.0 with my other lenses. As far as the lenses were concerned, I use a whole variety. That's okay. Before we go on, so let's talk about that. Consider your subject. When you're shooting an adult, you're shooting eye level, or you're shooting from over here, over there, or whatever. But most of the time, an adult's either sitting or standing. A newborn baby's never doing that. Newborn babies are lying down, maybe this way or this way, but they're lying down. They're just. You kind of have to shoot from up here. Did I mention? Okay, that's where you need one of these. I highly recommend one of these. The reason I got this was to put a baby on years ago, but I found that the thing I use it more for is to put my butt on to sit low to the ground when I'm shooting kids or babies. And it's just a little, I think it's a $10 beanbag I got at Walmart. And it's great for that. So I highly recommend one of those. Okay, and then like I say, try to consider your subject, right? You want to get those special angles that moms want. Just the little cute nose and the little cute mouth and just the little ear and their little toes, the little elbows. Try and incorporate all those shots. It's not just about the cute little baby's face. And also try, if you can, I think the best case scenario with an infant is it's sleeping and it's just happy, so you can just kind of mold it around, right? Oh, we should also talk about timing. If you really want to get a newborn shot and do all those crazy things that some people do with newborns, you're going to want the kid there within 4 or 5 days after birth because you can't really crunch them. You don't want to stretch out the baby. And when they're new, they're pretty pliable. As they get to be about a week or 2 weeks, they're not so pliable. I don't really care because I don't like to crunch up babies in little poses or wrap them up to look like larvae. I just like them to be cute and laying out, like a baby. Just try to consider whatever position the baby's in, you want the light and the camera angle to be right. Like if the baby is, face this, well, I mean, if the baby's laying down and the light's coming up its nose, that looks horrific, just like it would any adult. You don't want to do that. So you have to, what I would do is kind of rotate this table just to accommodate that, or I'd move the slide a little bit. And also when you're shooting the baby, don't shoot up their nose much. Don't shoot too much down on their head. Try to come, pretty much right at a 45-degree angle with their face and, different angles like that. But be cognizant of the fact that, like any subject, it's not going to look good when you come out at weird angles. And it's kind of harder to calculate that in your head when he's lying down, because you probably don't shoot a lot of people lying down. Maybe you do. Maybe you're a lying down shooter, photographer. I don't know. But, babies lying down, consider what you're shooting. So I should mention that after getting all this done, just so, not my best shots. Again, you have to be flexible and be able to go with it. So when we first brought the baby down here, baby would not cooperate. And almost invariably, this has been my experience with little babies. They're fine when they come over and the mom's got them tucked up and they're cute and they're just ready to roll and everything's going great. And then as soon as you come down to the studio, for whatever reason, the lights or the environment or whatever, in my case, always sets that kid off. So it's invariably going to require more cuddling with mom and more, and this is why I don't like baby photography. I don't want to do that. I'm sorry. I love babies, but I don't like to do that. I don't. I'm a horrible person. So when you get lemonades, when you get lemons, make lemonade. So while the mom's trying to soothe the baby, and she's right here in the interesting spot, I just had her sit up here and say, hey, let's take some shots of you and the baby. And that's where I got some of my best shots of her and the baby that I wasn't even really trying to do. It just sort of happened. It was sort of organic. And finally, we got the baby a few things down here, but it never really worked. So we finally went back upstairs, and dead nabbit, that's when some of the magic started to happen. Okay, so for all the preparation and concern I made to make my studio just the right light and the right temperature and comfortable for the baby, it turns out that this unassuming yet somehow magical spot turned out to be where I got some of my favorite shots of the day. So this very special spot on my sofa is mostly special because that's where my granddaughter decided she would finally be comfortable and take a little nap and look adorable. This happened to be a pretty good spot to do that because it's right next to a huge window with a lot of soft light, and it was an overcast day, and it really was a gorgeous spot. And she was just sort of there on her boppy pillow, and I put some blankets around her. And so this just goes to show you that despite your best preparation, sometimes, especially when it comes to kids and babies in photography, things are not going to go the way you anticipated, and you really need to learn to roll with it. In this case, I did get some good shots, but I really think my favorite shots were right here in our living room where the family was around and the baby felt most comfortable. Now, of course, that's not always going to be an option for you if you have a client over with a baby, but maybe it's an option. Maybe if the baby's comfortable in another room and you've got good light, take your shots there. Something to think about. Okay, that's about it. Greg Lewis, Orange Frog Photography. Thanks so much for watching. Hey, go ahead and leave comments below, snarky or otherwise, and I would really appreciate it if you'd go ahead and subscribe to my channel and share with your friends, and stay focused. Have a great day.